One journalist's views on the COVID lockdowns and the vaccine took a complete turn after uncovering something shocking. He then created the recently released documentary Epidemic of Fraud.
This may be one of the most profound scandals in human history.
Americans continue to differ in their opinions about the remedies for COVID-19. While some support the vaccine along with its boosters, others turn to hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. It's no secret the latter was considered controversial.
I believe Moderna began a vaccine development, according to emails, on January 13th. Nobody in the country had even heard of this disease, really.
John Davidson, a journalist, didn't really have anything against the vaccines at first, but then after the former CNN employee learned the history of hydroxychloroquine and its effectiveness, he dug deeper. According to the film, Davidson claims the Food and Drug Administration knowingly suppressed information about the drug.
When we found the whole genome of COVID in the stools, we discovered that 2 people that were on hydroxychloroquine and Z-Pak didn't have the virus anymore. April 13th, I get a letter from the Gates Foundation.
The letter stated the private company was working with a government agency, the World Health Organization, to monitor clinical trials. While this was surprising, the film unleashes other truths about how Davidson sees hydroxychloroquine being suppressed as Big Pharma increases their profits.
A paper published in The Lancet in May of 2020 that said hydroxychloroquine didn't work for COVID was retracted after the authors were unable to confirm that any of the data was accurate.
But this isn't a right versus left issue. Davidson looks at how the media and government agencies reacted to anything off script. Did you have any issues promoting your film and getting this information out there?
Yes, TikTok killed the history of hydroxychloroquine in excerpt.
So why do you think the FDA and government agencies would work so hard to demonize hydroxychloroquine?
They are looking for the next new drug or the next new vaccine. And that is maybe it's part of our American psychology that we want to develop new technology for every answer. But sometimes vitamin C is all you really need.
The timing of the film has to do with a Freedom of Information request of Davidson's to the FDA being delayed a whopping 2 years. By law, entities are to comply with a FOIA request within 15 business days. But Davidson says an even bigger disappointment is families not seeing justice after claims of getting injured by the vaccine.
Part of my work has been interviewing and meeting with families who have lost children, and to see how the FDA presents this information. This is such a devastating thing to science and medicine.
We contacted the FDA about this documentary, and they have not responded to our request for comment. Davidson is working with attorneys to reverse the PrEP Act. It essentially gave hospitals and pharmaceutical companies immunity from any liability or malpractice, and he says it's vital in order to give families the justice they deserve. I'm Natasha Sweet for Washington Examiner.